Eh bien, bonjour à toutes et à tous, bienvenue sur le village ID Forum Démo. On est parti pour une intervention sur le thème de pourquoi vos documents ne valent rien sans des identités vérifiables dans le cadre de l'EUDI. Cette intervention va durer 30 minutes et nous sommes en présence de monsieur Jeff Hu qui est avec nous et qui va nous parler donc de ce sujet. L'intervention va avoir lieu en anglais, monsieur Jeff Hu.
Hello. Bonjour, everyone. I'm Jeff. I'm the CEO and founder of ChangeSpace, and lovely to see you right here. This is actually the first time I'm speaking in France. I usually speak in the other countries. I usually in US, in Netherlands, in UK, and also Japan and Taiwan. And lovely to see everyone right here in INCYBER. Today, I'm gonna touch on a few topics. So the first one is a quick overview about what we do on credentials in Europe. The second part is about some scenarios. How can verified credential be used in real life, right? Because we are the technology provider and creator, but there will be 80–90% of people, they are the users. They are the general public. They use it for traveling. They use it for opening up bank accounts, and how they feel about verified credential in real life. So that will be a second part of the topic, and most important about the adoption impact. All right, so let's get started. I'm from the computer science background, so I started a company 6 years ago when I was in California. But then I moved to Netherlands to restore everything and build a company right there. Talking about the problem that we are solving, that it wasn't that emergent, but right now the AI fraud is everywhere. It's everywhere. So if some of you use Instagram, a thread or something, you upload your video, or your friend take a video of you, the AI can easily simulate your looks, appearance in the video, and your voice by only 3 seconds of the clips. And when it's simulated, it sends you to your close friends or family. 77% of people get tricked, saying, "Oh, that's my son, that's my grandparents who are looking for to get money. I need to wire the money over." So the number only goes up every day by day. So that's the first issue about AI frauds. Second, data privacy. So in Europe, actually, we have GDPR right here. So we can decide, reject all the cookies on the websites. But in a lot of different places, we don't have that options. So when we subscribe to a new marketplace, we're given our personal identity and data, like giving our email, our addresses, our connection to other people, like it's revealing over there. For example, like if you're traveling and you go to a hotel to check in, they take your passport. Some hotel, they take a scanned copy of your passport, and you get your key, and you enter your room. Do you think about where does the copy of the paper goes? Do they thread it after you check in, or do they leave it in a drawer? After 2 weeks, someone pick it up and then throw it into a trash can, and it's still like the full copy of your passport, right? So how do people manage privacy is very important, the second topic. So the fraud, privacy, the two topics. Our job, and with you together, I just know we have a French friends right there. We are trying to do similar things, building different layer of collaboration, and offer verifiable credential not only in France, in Netherlands, but also across the entire world. So that's a topic for cheering at us. All right, so what we do, basically, this is the adoption first. A lot of school, bank, hospital, they say, "Jeff, I have many document identity I want to issue. I have 7,000 students graduate this semester, but I don't want to do it by paper. I want to digitize it." And the first question about digitization is, it's so easy to be forged, right? But Adobe Editor, you can change your name to your friend's name within 20 seconds, and it's so easy. People know how to do it. So school, hospital, banks, they need a quick way to onboard within 2 weeks, and their registrar can take care of all the issuing of the documentation. Okay, so that's the first one. We did it for 4 years, and then we start getting more and more adoption from the government saying, okay, I want to do an identity wallet locally for a citizen. For example, we have a project in Japan. They want to use it for citizens for evacuation services. You know, in Japan, I will mention it also later, they have a lot of volcano, earthquake, and tsunami. So every year, the citizens are worried about, okay, can I get notification real quick and know where the underground structure I need to go to, which shelter I need to go to within 200 meters. So that's the thing. They want to build a wallet with identity, and then they go to shelter, they can identify themselves, and then be safely covered. So that's the second thing about wallets, local usage. The third is verification, and I mentioned that later on. So issuing, collecting, and verifying, it's a trust triangle for this kind of services. Cool. And yeah, like I said, the triangle of the trust, usually we adopt it first, and their user convert into the holder. And then more and more verifiers start joining into the ecosystem. I bet if you are also working on wallets, you have the same experiences about how to adopt the technology. And the cool thing is, it's not that like fluently, not as seamless. When we go on the journey, many industries, they all ask the same question, like, can you apply your credential to my industry? I want to mention a few very cool. The pets one, okay. We came across a few like pets marketplace or like breeders. They said, okay, I have a very special breed of a cat from Egypt, and they sell for $20K US dollar. And the most thing the people, the buyer, afraid of is I buy that cat, and after 2 weeks, I found out it's actually not from Egypt. It's from a village nearby, right? So if I need to like very specifically identify the breed line of the pets, I need to know how to say the bloodline about the cat's parents, grandparents. So actually, they are creating something about the bloodline of all the like pet individual to create a hierarchy of the parents and grandparents. So that's one usage. We also did it for agriculture. It's pretty easy. It's a farm to table. So when people eat more and more healthy, people want to know, okay, where does my food came from? The origin, the provenance. So there are quite a few different use cases right here. And our job is actually focusing on government, healthcare, banking, and education. So that's starting from about 6 years till today. And I use AI to create a super interesting thing. Is I got a question asked 2 weeks ago saying, Jeff, nowadays, the world, we have 8 billion human population. What do you imagine that the agent and robot population will surpass human in which year, right? So actually, I guess some of you agree, maybe before 2030, the world population will consist of 3 parts. The humanity, which is us, the robot, which has a physical body, an agent, which is a virtual without physical body. And the total population of the robots and the agent might be 80 billion, 800 billion. And how can human interact with those agents in a way that's credible, trustful, is very important. So we are creating kind of like a system that human is a center with the sun, and there are the planets of agents surrounding us, like a team. So we can delegate different rights and responsibility by a credible agent credential to the agent. So agent can go to a marketplace online, like Amazon or something, and then they can execute a payment under the restriction or constraint that we give. So it's like this kind of agent creation on behalf of the human. And it's still under construction. So if you're interested, we can talk about this side topic as well. Cool. About clients. So when we get into the Europe, we talk about, okay, who should I reach out to? Is it school? Is it banks? Is it governments? And we decided to go to international organization. So the first client that we get is actually WHO. The World Health Organization, they have so many credentials. They want to issue 12,000 credentials to 160 countries in 2022. Okay, you can imagine WHO, 160 countries with totally different address structure. Each delivery in the envelope by a printed certificate take 50 to 800 US dollar. So how can that take care of those like huge budget by paper delivery? They say, okay, Jeff, I want to go digital. I want to go digital. But the first important thing is I want digital but trustful. So can you put a digital signature of EIDAS onto a WHO credential? So our credential goes to a different country and still verifiable locally. We don't see a lot of fraud WHO certificate over there. So WHO start adopting it, right? Even last year, they start adopting that for their medical personnel. So the other agency also joined, UNESCO, UNHCR. They say, we have a lot of certificates we want to issue to many countries. And we want to go digital, trustful. So that's the reason we start from this. And then we start talking to school. And school is pretty easy, just admission of in registrar. So yeah, that's the European parts. I want to mention something about Japanese parts. So if you're interested, the entire world, not only 27 member states in Europe, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, we are looking at different use cases on verified credentials. And because the culture are different, so our approach are also different. For example, like Japan, they usually start with the city governments. They have 46 city government right there, and they sometimes listen to the central government, sometimes they don't. So they want to make their city decision. For example, like Izuka City, if you visit Fukuoka Prefecture in the past, Izuka City, that's the one I mentioned about the shelter. So they provide this kind of city super app to every citizen, and then the citizen will get a notification within 5 to 10 seconds when something is going to happen. For example, like the tsunami, volcano eruption, or even the airstrike. So they can say, okay, who go to where? They assign different citizens to different shelter to prevent, okay, if I have a 100K citizen, but each shelter take only 10K. They're afraid of 100K people go to the same place. Okay, that would be super unsafe. So each person needs to go to the right place with their allocated designated location. So that's the reason they use the identity to identify who go to where and are you at the right place. We're also helping a lot of the exam center. So in Japan, people love to collect certificates. So they take math exam, IoT exam, English exam, and different type of exams. So they want to have kind of like a lifelong passport of their different type of certifications. So they're kind of like using it to collect the life milestone achievements into one place. So that's another different use case on verified credentials. And what they care about is actually when they have a certificate, can it be applied in the other industry? Can the other people recognize their certificates? Okay, so there are quite a few different use cases right here. This is us. We are European headquarters based in Netherlands. We have a USA office, Taiwan, Japan offices. And right now, serving around 15 different countries and regions with their local needs on the identity and verified credentials. Cool. A few numbers. I found 50 organizations issuing with 6 million credentials. And the number should be even higher because there are 8 billion people right here in the world. So right here, helping, talking to different partners, we are building connectivity. So if you're also doing digital identity verified credentials, we can connect our services to do a conformance test. So that's the thing we can do. And this was the first time in WHO. The reason why for the photo is, I born and raised in Taiwan, and we are not yet a member of WHO. So I was so afraid, can I get in? Is it legal to get in WHO? And I feel it might be a last photo for me in WHO, so I do that photo. But actually, I come back to WHO every quarter for clients meetings. So yeah. This is one of our clients in the first, the Berkeley Law School. They use it for United States different accreditation services. The hospital, they use it for checkup report. And also, this is the one I mentioned for the more like a city safety evacuation services on ID. And a new thing I want to mention is I also got asked a question. Like, Jeff, by how much confidence can you get all the credentials in the world into you and your partner ecosystem within 10, 20 years, right? There are so many credentials, so many documents in the world, so many identity. Can you actually get all of them into the same protocol that you are using? Otherwise, I will still receive a paper-based certificate, right? Otherwise, I'll still receive a scanned copy, right? Something in the envelope on paper. So do you have a technology that can quickly verify a non-verifiable credential? And that thing will be interesting. So since last year, we start training our agent. We have a bunch of agents. They will run through a mechanism that we use to verify the fake bill notes. The bill notes, like a $1, $10 from the bank, the bill notes. And then we use the same mechanism to recognize 250 patterns on any kind of document and certificates. And then it will tell you, is it forged by human or by AI within 15 seconds. So what happened is it kind of become a super verifier prescriber. A lot of banks, they are adopted into their technology. So when they have many people come in to open up bank accounts, credit cards, like borrowing money, they receive their document and then they throw it into the super verifier. And then they will show, okay, that person, 10 documents, 6 are frauds within like 15 seconds. And you don't need any human in the loop, not yet, to check the document at the front. But when you see something that is like very tricky, need manual review, just put a human in the loop later. So that's also another topic about your verification. Yeah. Cool. So that's the first part of the introduction about what we do, issuing, receiving wallet verification. The second part is about the scenarios. I want to touch more on the how to use it in real life. So this is what I just mentioned is we got 8 billion human, but there will be 80 billion agents, and each human become a team, and then we delegate our rights, responsibility, credentials to different kind of agents to act on behalf of us. So this shopping agent will get a credential saying, okay, you have a shopping limit up to 100 euro, and then you can go to a marketplace to buy some category of the stocks. So this agent will go to there, and there will be something called agentic gate. Agentic gate is a gate interact with the agent to let you in or out. So it's just a bodyguard or something. And then the agent get in, finish the action, and then come back with the results. So this is how the feature will be like. So a lot of like very local e-commerce platform with a payment transaction, they will install the agentic gate, and they say, okay, here we accept agents. But you can still send human to come here and they click buttons. Right? There will be two ways to interact with any kind of service right now in the world. So that's a thing for verified credentials. The second I want to mention is another thing we're right now working with a few banks is the bank sometimes they need to collect the debt, right? And they need to send out those kind of envelope of information, letter of debt notice. And the issue is each debt notice costs money. So they want to have a proof of delivery on a debt notice in a digital format. So right now we are hoping quite a few banks, they issue 2 million to 5 million debt notice every year. And then they use our technology, the debt notice quickly bind to the people who borrow money. And then that person will have the electronic proof that will be available if some suitcases happens. So that's another use case of verified credential on the legal perspectives. Okay. The next one is cross-country adoption. The interesting thing is, if I got a credential from my country, can I use it and can it be recognized by any destination countries, right? So we're building kind of a structure. It's not yet in Europe, but it's actually like if you have a bank account in Taiwan, and then there are 36 countries in Asia Pacific. So if you go to the other country, for example, like Thailand, Vietnam, or like Japan, South Korea, can a local bank rely on your credit history in Taiwan and open up a bank account for you within 2 minutes, 5 minutes? So you don't need to restart with your entire credit history anymore because they rely on the foreign party to provide the proof. So this is how another way to use verified credential to quickly get a bank opening scenario, like startup. Cool. And the next one is for travelers. Okay, so talk about open up bank account usually is for people who go there to work. Right, the migrant workers, the student, overseas student, but the traveler has a much larger volume. For example, like every year, the traveler who go to Japan from Taiwan is 6 million people, right? So for that 6 million people, can they have a better way to have their credential recognized for 4 use cases? So first one is, can I no longer need to scan my passport? Okay, can you imagine, like when you check in, you don't need to take your passport out, you just show a QR code or do an NFC, and that person recognizes you without knowing your name or any personal information. They just see a check on their screen and then give you a ring key. Okay, even the ring key is not physical. The ring key goes to your mobile, and then you're just checking your room on third floor, fifth floor, like that. So that's the first one. Check-in hotel without passport. The first use is currently undergoing. When you're ready, I'll let you know. So you can check my link in. The second one is, can I rent a car without international driver license? Even translation. Okay. Can I use my local driver license from Taiwan in Mandarin Chinese, but can the Japanese recognize it like in the private connection on the verified credential recognition framework, and then they take your driver license and give you the car right away when you arrive. right now, if you go to the other country, maybe in Europe it's much more convenient, but sometimes you need to still have a translation of the driver license, or you need to apply for something to get ready. So that's another use case: is get a car, rent a car without like the foreign application of the driver license. The third, tax-free. Tax-free is pretty difficult. In Europe, you have Global Blue. In Asia, people go everywhere, travel for shopping. And the thing, they need to arrive at airport earlier because they imagine there will be a line of people waiting to do tax-free. But tax-free can be much, much more easy based on, okay, who is that person? Is he or she actually buy the stuff? Is the stuff actually go with that person out? Outside of the custom. So we are building that tax-free mechanism for cross-country use cases. Based on the identity, I talked about the driver license and the hotel check-in. So that's the third. The number 4, but it will be difficult. It's about a custom fetch check-in. So when you go into the country, go out of country, for example, I just arrived in Paris a few days ago. I wait 80 minutes at the custom because I don't have a European passport yet. I think there could be a better way to do it. Maybe like shortened by 20 minutes is good. So we are thinking about doing this, not yet in European country, but in Asian countries, to do a custom speed up by checking the passport. If we already know who is who, can we just let the person pass? All right, so that's 4 use cases for travelers. I'll say again, it's a hotel check-in, car rental, tax-free, and custom fast track. All right. And yeah, this is one of the use cases. Okay, I want to mention something more interesting is we know European is doing really good on the EUDI. Like all of us know EUDI about digital identity wallets. In Asia, we don't have a European Union, right? We don't have Asia Union. In Asia, we have 2 organizations. One is called ASEAN. The ASEAN is like Southeast Asia countries, 11 countries. The other one is called APEC, APEC, Economy Cooperation. But they don't have a really strong enforcement on the country about the policy in action. So how do the country work with each other to actually exchange different protocols of the identity? We and the few countries start a underground organization. Just kidding, not underground. It's a in a public organization to build a private network, country to country, to include the 36 countries, which account for 60% of the world population, into one association called APDI. So if you change it for EU, it will be EUDI. So we just take like Asia Pacific European Union, so it's the same format. We are learning from the European Union. And this actually, quite a few countries, like 36, and 60% of the world population will be using this kind of service step by step. And the goal is to actually build like cross-border efficiency. Okay, and I want to jump into this. This is pretty cool. It's also in Europe, like everyone has their local languages, and they speak about digital identity in different ways. They recognize and perceive the identity in different ways. How can people be different but still collaborating? It's very important, and it's not only about technology. It's also about like, do we trust each other? Do we have a framework that we agree on? We don't need to run into conflict every single day because we have a conflict resolution committee like that. So and everyone can fairly contribute to those kind of protocol and standards. So it's very important, the thing we're also doing right here in Asia Pacific. And oh yeah, I think it's the end of it. And because a lot of people want to try using the verified credential for their daily use cases, so we also put the QR code up here. So if you want to connect with me, you can just search Jeff Hu on LinkedIn. I think it will pop up right there because there are not a lot of people called Jeff Hu and with the Hu, HU. And this one is for the free verified credential issuance. And I think we'll get 10 or something, and you can play around with it. And yeah, I think that's the finish of it. And summarize is today we talk about how Turing use verified credential to issue, collect, and how we use AI agents to recognize frauds within 15 seconds. We also talk about the scenario about evacuation, the city safety. We talk about the scenario about hotel check-in. And at last, we talk about the APDI for Asia Pacific digital identity. And thank you, and hope you enjoyed the session today. If you got any if I get any question, we still have 5 minutes that we can take. Yeah, thank you.